this is Mrs. Buckner, World Culture, sixth grade, and I'm here to talk to you about culture. So, this screencastify is about culture. What is culture? Um, and many people define culture differently. So, we're going to talk about culture, go over the seven elements or culture traits to help you to define what your culture is. So, our essential question, of course, is what is culture? So, by looking at the Nearpods that we have made for you, you can understand culture. This is the vocabulary video that explains culture, and that will is great to start us off so you'll kind of understand what culture is, but we're not going to watch it right now. You're going to watch it when you go through the Nearpod video. So, what is culture? Culture is the most important elements of the way of life of a group or a place. Or if you want to just make it real simple, it's a way of life, a way a group of people or a way a area lives. Okay. And it's defined by several traits. So these are cultural traits. There are the 7 elements of culture. There can be more, but these are the most important to help you to understand what culture is, because culture is abstract. It's not concrete and say, oh, that's culture, that's culture. You build culture based on these 7 cultural traits. So the 7 elements of culture is language, religion, food, customs and traditions, government, music, and holidays. So the first one is language. A language is a system that people use to communicate, basically, or share information. In different areas and different countries and regions around the world speak different languages. I know here in America, our official language is English, but here in Texas, you will hear sometimes people speak in Spanish. And so their culture, their communicative language is Spanish. So you'll hear them speaking in that language and they can share information that way. All right. So religion is another cultural trait. It's a set of beliefs that is held by a group of people. So people go to a mosque, people go to a church, people go to different places. They believe differently. And so in a culture, they have a major belief. Okay. It could be Christianity, Judaism, which is Jewish, or Hinduism, Islam, which is Muslim. It can be many more. We're going to learn about those this year in World Cultures, because culture or beliefs are a key thing that help us to better understand our region. All right. The next culture trait is food. Food is passed down from one generation to the next. So I am originally from Chicago, and in Chicago, I had no clue what gumbo is. But when I came down here, I ate gumbo for the first time when I came down here several years ago, and I loved it. But it was not in the culture in Chicago. So here, actually in Louisiana, the culture is to make gumbo. And they pass the secrets of making the roux and making all of the stuff in the gumbo stew from generation to generation. And things like menudo, things that we don't see like at McDonald's, but your family, your culture makes those foods, and they teach the children or teach the teenagers are probably teaching you right now how to make those foods so that you can pass it down to your family members. All right, culture and tradition, or customs and traditions, okay? It's a culture or custom or tradition is anything which lots of people do and have done for a long time in that area. Okay. They usually came from the same country, the same culture, the same religion, and they do these things. Customs, like in the United States, we shake hands when we meet someone new. Well, we don't do it now because of COVID, but that is a culture now. Um, if you go to China, that's not the custom for greeting people. They bow. If they speak the language, they bow. So that may be something different in their culture. Um, or I mean their customs, their traditions are different than us. Wearing a white dress. We wear a white dress in the United States when we get married. But in India, they do not wear white dresses when they get married. The wife or the one that's going to become a wife wears a colored dress. Um, so, different places or different countries, different regions have different customs, and those things are things that you do um, for a long time in that area. That's like a tradition, something that you do, like um, you put up a Christmas tree for Christmas. Okay, it's a tradition that every time several weeks before Christmas, you put a Christmas tree up. That is a tradition. You don't have to put up a Christmas tree, but it's a tradition that people do to help celebrate the season. Government. Government is a group of people that have rule, or either one. It could be few or many people that have rule in a territory according to the law. So, our government here is a democracy. But in other countries, they don't. They are not a democracy. Okay, so in Cuba, they are not a democracy. They have one ruler that's like a dictator. So different places have different governments, and we're going to learn about those in social studies this year. All right. Another trait, custom trait, is music. Every culture in the world has its own music. And so if you were to go to Jamaica, you would hear reggae music. And it's not played a lot here in the US, but in the island of Jamaica, it's played all over the place because that's the culture of music they have. Here in America, we have different cultures, but you can have country music, jazz music, um, we have rap music. All of those things are here in America, but it may not be in other places. Like K-pop, you guys know where they from. So different groups of people have different cultures of music or different kinds of music that causes their culture to be unique in their own way. And the last culture trait is holidays. So we celebrate, it's a recurring festive day that we celebrate something, is a holiday. Um, it's usually observed every year and it varies from culture to culture. For instance, in Jewish, they celebrate Hanukkah. So that's many days of lighting a candle, which is shown right here on this menorah. For that's their culture. But we celebrate in America, or Christians celebrate in America uh, Christ being born, which is Christmas. So we do Christmas. Some people do Kwanzaa, but they are all celebrating a holiday. And so um, this is a holiday and it's different based on your culture. So you can have many different holidays. For instance, the 4th of July is a holiday that's celebrated in America, but in other countries it's not celebrated because that's not their Independence Day. So you guys got it. I think you understand what is culture. So what we're going to do now is exit this and we're going to go to the activity that tells us uh, in our notes what we're supposed to do after we understand and take the quiz in a Nearpod and take the quiz on Schoology. Now we're going to do our activity on culture. So culture, this is the activity. Once you copy it into your digital science, digital social studies interactive notebook, you this it'll be 2 pages. The first one has the notes of what culture is. It has the 7 elements right here. And then you're supposed to write 4 sentences telling about your culture. So you can ask your parents, you can ask your sister, or some of the things like what foods do you eat? That could be one of them. What is their custom or holiday that you um, have? What's the language that your family in your area speak? So those are, you can tell me 4 sentences that's about that. Now, next, what you need to do is on the second slide, it has instructions here. Now that you know what culture is, you're going to look at the following images and put them inside the correct boxes under each element. So you're going to remember what each element is and drag and drop. Okay, so you can see this says bonjour, hola, um, ciao, salut. So this must be what they're considering language. So I take that, you see, it's got the box around it. And then you see that it has the cross or the plus sign with the arrows. So that means I can drag and drop it. So I'm going to drag and drop it into language. When I release it, there it is underneath the spot that says language. So we're going to look at the other ones and see if you can tell what is customs and holidays, language, religion, music, food, and government, and put the correct image underneath the culture trait. All right. I hope you got it. I know you do because you're awesome like that. Good job, boys and girls. Now you know what culture is. It is a way of life. All right. Thank you and have a great day.